This is Sarah Leslie with Go All In, helping entrepreneurs live the life they want to live right now, making the money they want to make the way they want to make it, while also living a rich and full life outside of their business. True personal freedom.
Hey, welcome. I'm so glad to be here. And I am so glad that you are too. Troy and I have started a new routine called the Powerful Living Routine. And it's facilitated by a coach that Troy's been following on YouTube. I wanted to join in and utilize this routine because I've wanted to go deeper into being aware of my feelings and how those feelings are showing up in the way that I'm living throughout the day. Really getting into what are my beliefs that are leading me through the day so that I can have more awareness and more control over how I'm creating my day. And it has been so incredible. I've always got some sort of routine that I'm following in the mornings and just at different periods throughout my day based on what it is I feel like I need at the time. And this is what we're implementing right now. And we're actually doing it together as accountability. And because we both desire to follow this new routine and be more aware of our feelings and beliefs, we're also joining together physically to spend time in the same room following this practice. As I'm recording, we had one time this week where we decided to share what we had written in our quest to have greater connection in our relationship, in our marriage, and go just one step further in with what we really want to upgrade to having even more vulnerability in our relationship. And I just want to say that was such an amazing time of sharing between us. It brought us both to wet eyes. So I want to encourage you in your own routines, in your own developing of greater awareness of where you're at in your journey and what's going on for you. And also, if you're married or in relationship and a long time, in a partnership with someone where you want to go deeper and cultivate more connection. I actually was just having this conversation with someone online about their desire to have deeper, richer, meaningful conversations. And that is totally possible for you. And it doesn't take a whole lot of effort. So I wanted to share that to give you some hope and also a way to bring that into your relationships right now. So today's topic is maintaining unwavering faith, right? How do we have this thing that we know we need, which is unwavering faith? And last episode, if you didn't already listen, check it out. It's all about how to focus on what you desire as the way to creating the results that you want even faster. Once I've talked about or offered to a client or audience that they can actually get the results that they want faster when they become willing to focus on what they desire. The next question is, okay, yeah, I get that. Also, we got to be real because I've got bills to pay and I have to get things done. Da, 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 da. And that's what we're diving into today. While your mind might want to say holding faith sounds good, there's a part of your mind wired for safety that tends to be more like practical, that will quickly rise up and say, yeah, but how are we actually going to do that? Like, wait a minute, let's really look at this because I don't really understand what we're talking about. So here's what I want to offer for us today. Faith, I want to offer you to think about faith as your lifestyle. It's required to experience a life of ease and inner peace while also playing full out in all areas of your life and your business. At the same time, getting to feel amazing internally. Holding faith as a lifestyle allows you to follow your inspirations. So today we're going to dig in even deeper into how faith applies to your life today, why faith as a practice is key to getting what you desire right now. And then lastly, some practical steps for how you can start cultivating faith as your lifestyle, even today. You're always acting from faith. You're always approaching life from that perspective of faith. Any time where you don't have tangible physical control over what is about to happen, which is most of the time, you don't really have control over what's about to happen. Now, you can plan for it and you can speculate and you can assume based on evidence from the past. But at the same time, no one has control over the future. We just don't. I want you to look at that practically because when you realize that you're always operating in faith, it frees you up to go with me quicker and easier than if you spent time deliberating and arguing against it. You're either operating from a place of faith in what you desire and faith working in your favor, or you're having faith in it going against you, right? Life being against you. That's the easiest way to think about how to upgrade your use of faith, like immediately, is recognizing, oh, actually, I'm always acting in faith because I just don't have control over the future. So then it becomes a matter of which way you're oriented. Are you oriented toward faith, using faith, practicing faith in your favor or against yourself? So the simple definition of faith that I looked up here just on Google is a strong belief in something rather than having proof of it. Confidence in a specific thing, regardless of what you're able to see, right? Super simple. And so, again, it's like being able to recognize I'm having faith, period. Now we look at, are you having faith in your favor or from fear? Faith and love, faith and fear is what is normally stated. I like to look at it more tangibly. It's your orientation toward life. Life is either working for you or it's working against you. So, intentionally practicing faith and living by inspiration and action that is based in inspiration, or are you living according to what you think you know or you currently have awareness of? There are a lot of things that I'm sure you're desiring in your life. In order for you to believe that you can have them, it requires you to have faith versus the things that you're already convinced of being true, right? Like you have a pretty good sense that tomorrow you wake up and you're going to spend time doing X, Y, or Z. Like you have a pretty good sense of that. It's these other places in our life that we're actually needing to have more faith where we don't know whether or not we're going to be able to create what we want, right? Whether it's in your marriage, in your love relationship, in your relationship with your kids or other family members, or in your business and your income, right? You have some big dream, some hopes in various places of your life. Maybe it's health. In the last couple of years, I've been radically upgrading the devotion to my health and actually taking the best care of my body. It's one of those things I used to talk about a lot, that health is most important. And then there wasn't the evidence to back that up that said I was actually prioritizing my health. Now there's so much evidence that backs up I am prioritizing my health, where I'm spending time creating healthy food, exercise, movement throughout the day. I've repositioned my office to accommodate for regular movement and just overall better care of my body. I'm actually standing right now as I'm talking to you. So that being said, there are times like before where I wouldn't have been grounded in, I can prioritize my health to the degree that I want to, like where I'm spending several hours a day on my self care. And now I'm actually believing that I can have that. And you have a lot of evidence that I am doing it. So the gap in between there, right, was that I was accessing faith from this place of fear that I couldn't really prioritize my health. And that if I tried to, it wouldn't work or something bad would happen. So that's what is meant by faith not being in your favor. Versus now, right? The shift that I've made is that I'm having faith in life being in my favor. That if I actually do prioritize where my inspiration was leading me, which is more time around taking care of my body and my own well being, it would work in my favor and the results would produce what I wanted. So, when you use faith in your favor and you access it daily as a practice, as an orientation toward life, that's when you get to have what you want. Okay. When you allow yourself to believe that you can have what you desire and you orient yourself towards creating what you desire versus the normal human orientation, which is towards fear and preventing bad things from happening. When you shift that orientation to life is always working in my favor, and I'm trusting that the best of things are going to happen and unfold, then you allow yourself to work directly towards your desires. This house that we're in, right? Literally every move, it's happened so much like this. And this house specifically, we came within just a few days before we needed to move out of the previous house that we were in. We moved into one of the Airbnbs that Troy manages for a week because it was bigger and we just needed a place in between. And also, my parents were coming into town. So it was perfect. And the Airbnb was just getting launched. And so we wanted to try everything out, make sure it was all working. Instead of forcing us to find a place and choosing a place that wasn't exactly what we desired, we were implementing faith being in our favor and us believing that we got to have what we desired. We did not know where we were going to move. That required us to pack up everything that we had to then move it into this Airbnb, to then be prepared just a week later to move it somewhere else. We followed the process that we used to create what we wanted, and we're holding faith for this to happen. It was literally while my parents were here during that week that this house became available. And we came and, did a walkthrough, and even the owner wasn't in town. It was like a whole thing where she wasn't in town. So we had to have the neighbor come over and show us. She was like, I'll be back next week if you guys can wait. I was like, we really can't. We've allowed this to get right down to the wire, and we're holding faith that we're absolutely going to find the place that we want. We didn't know for sure it was going to be this place, but we were hoping it had all of the things that were important to us that we felt like we needed to have for this next season of our life. We visited, saw the place. We felt really good about the place. One of the things that was on my list of priorities and non-negotiables is that we would be able to meet the person who would be managing the property and feel really good about the relationship with the landlord. It was literally down to the wire where we were able to circle back and meet her within 2 days before we were going to be moving out of the Airbnb. So all of that to say, we were practicing holding faith that we got to have what we desired. And sure enough, the woman that owns this house is a lovely person, and we get along with her famously. We were able to move into this place about 3 days later from having met her. Okay. So the reverse or the opposite of that is like saying, oh my gosh, which this was an older version of me. Like, there's no way I can wait till the very last minute, not knowing where we're going to go and have all of our things, like everything in the balance, waiting for a place to show up 48 hours. That would have made me feel so uncomfortable. I could not have done it before. Definitely 2 years ago, I would not have been able to do that. So instead, I would have been like, nope, we're just going to have to take this place because I need to know where we're going. And I definitely don't want to wait till the last minute. That's how it would have played out before. And I wouldn't have gotten exactly what I desired right now if I had operated from that orientation. Does that make sense? So you can probably see even in your own life times where you've operated from both of these places without being as clear or understanding of what you were doing. times where you were practicing faith being in your favor and waiting till the last minute to get what you truly desired. And then other moments where you absolutely didn't. And you either made some big life decision, like marrying somebody, moving, traveling, or taking a job that checked the box for you, but wasn't actually what your heart most wanted. Love to hear from you. Drop it into the comment section here and let me know. Yep, made this decision too soon, or yep, I totally waited and got exactly what I wanted. So, I want to just take a moment when you're operating in faith and life being for you, right? And you're allowing yourself to be led by inspiration. It feels completely different from when you're operating primarily from control and forcing life to happen for you. So I just want you to take a moment and close your eyes and think about what it feels like, the difference between the two, right? I'm just going to read a little blurb that I wrote in my notes so you can feel the sensation of what I imagine it's like to feel the faith and life being for you and you getting to have exactly what you want because you're following the inspiration as life reveals it to you. You feel confident in what you are doing. You wake up in the morning and have that sensation of knowing what you're going to be doing. You don't know the details of how the day will unfold, but you just have this inner knowing of, I know what to do. I will be shown what to do. It feels empowering. You're able to make decisions quickly from a place of knowing what is best versus relying on other fearful ways of making decisions, like looking at your bank account or feeling the pressure to make a decision. Instead, you have that ease in decision making. It's an adventure to make decisions versus pressure. You know what things need to get done in your business because you feel inspired to complete them. And you have enough time to do the things most important, feeling inspired. You're taking action from that place of inspiration within you and this place of trust in what is on tap to be completed. You have space in your calendar for when things shift and when you feel led to move into a different direction than what you had originally planned for the day. When people pop up that you hadn't anticipated, perhaps an old friend or a new opportunity, you're able to lean into that without it ruining your day. You feel powerful every room you go into. You're able to confidently show up and present who you are while also being so focused on the other person, so present and able to really hear what they have to share. You're not distracted by thoughts and worries. You feel a sense of deep belonging, being deeply loved and cared about, celebrated for who you are, and appreciated for the things you are accomplishing in your daily life, both in your business, in your personal relationships. You feel deeply connected and alive. You're able to take time off work without worry. You're able to invest your resources, time, money, energy into the things that excite you the most while trusting that the money is coming in. You feel deeply nourished in your body. You have plenty of time for the things you most enjoy doing outside of your business. And you're able to get deep rest each evening. And overall, you carry this deep sensation of feeling comfortable and at home in your own skin. Okay, you can open your eyes. How did that feel? I would love to hear in the comments. This is like my second or third time using this visualization to share with other people what it's like to operate from this place of unwavering faith. It feels so empowering. It's like, oh, yes, I want that 100%. I want even more of that than I have right now. I hope you feel that for yourself as well. This is literally the work that I do with people, cultivating this type of vision, this deep, intimate, detailed clarity about what it is they want their life to be like. And then I help them actually bring that into fruition. Okay. So that is for me what it feels like to be operating in unwavering faith as you go throughout your day. I would love to hear what came up for you. In a mastermind that I held a while back, one of the folks that was in there commented like, "Hey, I love that. That sounds amazing." It was a really great moment to pause and really ask myself, like, check in, like, that is possible, right? Because that's what we teach people. And it is. I believe it 100%. I really do. It gave me a moment to reflect and check in and confirm. And here's the thing, it's not to say that you're not gonna experience uncomfortable feelings. Of course, I still experience things that are uncomfortable. Still have moments where I fall out of faith or I go into fear, however you wanna think about it. And more time of my day is spent in life working in my favor, right? Being in the faith that life is working in my favor than how I used to live, which was that life wasn't working in my favor or that I had to settle for a lesser version of what I wanted. Whereas now I practice faith in such a way that I 100% get more of what I desire in my life. So that's the distinctive difference. I want to wrap us up here by spending a little bit of time around how you can begin cultivating this deeper, unwavering faith in your favor, right? Accessing faith to be in your favor versus accessing faith in life not working out for you or you having to settle for something less. And so, just like this woman that I addressed in this masterclass, and this is not just one person, this has happened multiple times in conversations with people around faith. It's actually being willing to slow down and to really look at what you believe, right? So, slowing down in that masterclass, what she believed, which is that her dream wasn't possible. It wasn't possible for her to feel primarily at ease with herself and with life on a regular basis. That's literally where I would then begin working with a client by helping you shift that belief so that it actually is possible for you. I was just on a coaching call in my mastermind, and one of the folks mentioned a belief she was getting hung up on clients coming to her. Let's just summarize it with that. That she was like, I don't believe the clients are really going to be coming. Really not coming. They really don't want to work with me. And then she was like, and very quickly, she was like, now I know that's not really true. And da, 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 da. And I was like, whoa, let's stop right there. Because the reality is for you in this moment, that is what's most real for you. We can go to intellectualizing and say, I know that's not real. What's more useful, right? To cultivate unwavering faith, we have to actually be willing to look at what is the most true right now. So you want to look at what's the most true. So, not what's the most true intellectually, but what's literally the most true for you right now. That's how you begin to cultivate a deeper, unwavering faith in your daily life right now. You become aware of your own narrative. In this case, with her, it was like, yeah, that is actually what's true for you is you're not believing that the clients are coming. The majority of you, right? Or the leading thought in your thoughts around creating clients is they're not coming. So there's nowhere else to spend time other than right there and working through what that belief is all about. Okay. So for you, right, think about what is it you're most wanting right now in your life and write that down. Then write down what is the most true about what you believe about you being able to actually create that. If it's clients, if it's a certain amount of money, if it's deep connection in your marriage, right? What are your thoughts about that actually being able to happen for you today? For instance, when I'm working with people, because I work with entrepreneurs, folks who are out there carving their own path, they want it all. So while primarily I end up working with people around income and creating things in their business, I also talk about things outside of their business like marriage and how do we have deeper connection there. One thing that you might be believing right now is that your partner isn't capable of deeper connection. Thinking of some other things that people have shared with me over the last couple of weeks, you might be thinking it feels really scary to be more vulnerable with your partner. So, if those are the two things that are the most true for you right now in your marriage and going deeper, right? Having this, what you desire, which is deeper connection in your marriage, then you don't need to go any farther than that. You want to stay focused on those two thoughts and then also what it is that you desire. That's the work right there. I do this work with people almost every session because the only thing standing in your way is some belief that's shrouded in fear or not good enough feelings for why you don't currently have what you desire. And that's not a judgment. I want you to be really clear. It's like when you believe you can have something and there's no fear holding you back, then you just go do it. That's just how this works. I'm sure you can think of something. Like there was no question for me this morning. I was going to eat breakfast and drink my tea in my cozy room. I didn't have any shroud of fear that that wasn't going to happen. It was a fact as far as I was concerned, even though it hadn't yet happened. So you just go and do the things when you have the belief and you don't have any fear holding you back. For you right now, think about what is it that's actually holding you back from having whatever the things are that you're desiring in your life and get clear with what those are. This is part of the morning routine I'm following right now, writing down these are the things I'm desiring. And these are the beliefs that embody the fear that isn't allowing me to create these things that I desire. The more clear you can get with them, I like to call it bringing it front and center, those fears, those places of shame or disappointment that are blocking you from being able to create what you desire, then you can actually start to work with these. Then you can start to question them. But until you're willing to do that, it will seem vague and confusing as to why you can't create what you desire. So that's your work to get started literally today, bringing it front and center. What is it that you desire? What is it that's holding me back from what I desire? And how can you flip it around to allowing yourself to believe a little bit more today that you actually can have what you desire? Another way to say that is you make a new decision about that current fear that you're holding. So if the fear is in your marriage that my partner isn't capable of deeper connection, then you want to ask yourself, is that really true? And I'll just answer, no, it's not. You married that person for a reason. Chances are they can go deeper. So then you change, you make a new decision. My partner can go a little bit deeper. Does that feel real for you? Versus my partner is going to be have deep conversations with me every morning. Maybe you're not ready for that. I'm not saying that can't happen because I believe it can if that's what you're desiring. Let's not jump that far ahead. Let's just look one step further down the road to that ultimate big desire. I'll conclude with this. Most of us did not learn how to hold faith in this way that I'm describing for you. Even if you grew up in a faith practicing home, which I did, you still probably didn't learn how to live in this kind of faith in your everyday life, where you just trusted at 100% that you could have what you desired. Because it comes from God, right? And again, just to clarify, I'm talking about those desires that are pure and clean and harmonious to the greater good of life. Okay. So I want you to hold that awareness that you need to give yourself some time to learn how to actually live that way. It's like learning how to ride a bicycle. You don't just jump on the bicycle and start riding it, right? You actually had to learn how to ride it, and then it became a default mechanism. It's the same thing. I just want you to have that in your mind You're giving yourself that time, that space, that compassion to actually learn the practice of holding faith that is in your favor. This was so rich. I hope you absolutely loved the content. And just to summarize, right, we talked about today that faith is a lifestyle that can allow you to follow your inspirations in all the areas of your life, such that life is always working for you. You are always using faith, so it's a matter of orienting toward life working in your favor. You get to access this kind of faith to help you get the results, the desires, the things you really, really want right now. Lastly, practicing faith this way is a practice, and then it becomes your normal. So take the time to actually learn how to do this. And I recommend getting some help with this, right? I was a therapist for 20 years. I grew up in a faith household for 20 plus years, and I was not able to do this on my own, at least at the speed I desired to do it, which is how I got myself into coaching in the first place. Okay. All right, you guys, that's it for me. Thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. I would love to have you join me here regularly. And all of the links that you will need to connect with me further or pick up information that I shared in this podcast will be here in the show notes. Between now and when I see you next, go do that thing your heart is inspired to do. Ready to hire your own personal one-to-one mentor to help you take your life and your business to the next level? Go to my website where you can sign up for a no charge, no pressure consultation where we can get to know each other better. I get to hear your vision. I'll help you understand exactly what's getting in your way. And if it feels like a good fit and I believe I can help you, we'll talk about what it looks like to work together.